Well, that's alright, mama, that's alright for you. That's alright, mama, just any way you do. Well, that's alright. Well, that's alright, mama, any way you do. What's up, guys? That was me trying to do Elvis. We won't even bother with how we decide that went. The whole point of being here is to help you try to do your own Elvis. This is such a fun rockabilly style song with super simple chords. There's, I guess, a couple of different ways you could attempt that strumming pattern that we did. So I think this song is really accessible, but it will be challenging just because of the speed of it. But yeah, who doesn't want to know a few Elvis songs? Nobody with a sane mind, in my opinion. So let's just jump right in. You need the A chord. You need A7. You need the D chord and the D7. And this is all very bluesy, throwing in those sevenths. And you need the E7. So let's talk about E7 for a minute. The easiest way that you usually see to play E7 is just taking the regular fingering for the E chord and then just lifting up that third finger so that you have the open D string, the open fourth. So that's an easy way to do it. If you want to have a stronger sounding seventh chord, you can put either your third finger or your fourth finger on the second string, third fret, and it brings out that note, which is that seventh tone. So since it's on a higher string, you're just going to hear it better, and it gives it that nice pull. So instead of just, you get, which I like. You don't have to do it that way, but it's fun. So now I'm going to give you two options with what you can do for this strumming pattern. Since I was singing at the same time and this is fast, I did it with a pick, and I found it harder to concentrate on the words when I was thinking about being accurate with my pick, so I did it with my fingers. I started as a fingerstyle guitarist, so I'm kind of more comfortable that way, even though the pick is nice because you can get more volume. But what I was doing was I hit the bass note, which is the open fifth string for the A chord, and then I just do a downstroke and an upstroke. So you got bass note with your thumb, down, up. And I basically am just using my fingernails as picks. So when I do a downstroke, it's with my index fingernail. When I do an upstroke, it's my thumbnail. So bass note, down, up. Now the bass notes on these are alternating. And you can, again, plug this same style into any folk or blues style song, and it's going to fit pretty well. So you got fifth string, down, up, sixth string, down, up. Now notice with the rhythm, the bass notes are long, and the strum with the down and the up is short. So it's like long, short, short, long, short, short, long, short, short, long, short, short. I had a student, you know who you are, this is for you, who kind of turned it into a 6/8 feel because he made all the rhythms even. And that's obviously not going to fit. So if you know anything about your rhythms, the actual counts are quarter note, eighth notes, quarter note, eighth notes, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1. So it's the same on every other chord. When you're on the D chord, you would alternate between the fourth string and the fifth string. And when you're on the E7, it's the sixth string and the fifth string. Now, if the alternating bass seems like it's way above you, you can just keep it really simple. Grab yourself a pick. I like to use a thin pick when I'm strumming this fast. Sometimes those harder picks, you just tend to get hung up on the individual strings. So you can just do down, down, up, down, down, up. Oh my. Down, down, up, down, down, up. And that's still going to work. It has the same rhythmic properties, so you're good to go. But you can also you can do the same thing with the pick that I was doing with my fingers. So you could go 5th string down, up, 6th string down, up. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and... So strumming quickly can be a huge challenge. Strumming is kind of crazy because you would think that it would be easier than playing fingerstyle, but I've run into so many people where strumming is harder. And I think the reason for that is you kind of tend to tense up your muscles because you're moving quickly, but you need to be completely relaxed when you're strumming. So it's a fine combination between you're doing a little bit of pumping with your arm, but not too much, because you don't want to travel too far with your pick with each downstroke and upstroke. If your arm is going so far up and down, you simply just don't have the time to get back to where you need to be for your next strum. But also, if you make the mistake of only strumming with your wrist, that's where the tension comes from. So you need to do the combination of having a relaxed wrist and having your arm just do that little rhythmic pumping. Yeah, on this one, like, the way that my arm is moving up and down is pretty minimal. So you just decide. You can try the finger way that I was doing. And if you're comfortable with finger styling, that might be easier for you. It also depends on whether or not you plan on singing while you play. You sometimes have to make decisions about, all right, what's more important here? And oftentimes I like to focus on the vocals because what I'm playing on the guitar is maybe the more simple part, and I want to make the vocals sound good. So I sort of have to step back in what I'm doing on the guitar. So for me, switching to fingerstyle is sometimes a solution. But you might find the opposite is true, like, oh, I gotta stick with a pick on this one. So that's pretty much it. The only thing I was using on this was I just looked up the lyrics and the chords on Ultimate Guitar, and you're just following 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3. So that's alright, mama. That's alright for you. So when you play the 1, 2, and 3, 4, and that, we consider that as one musical measure. So you're playing that basically 4 times. That's all. That's alright, mama. Just any way you do, well, that's alright. When you're on the D, I think you do this 4 times. Well, that's alright, mama. Any way you do. It's going to be the same for the other verses, and it's very simple. So I was playing it on capo 2 for vocal reasons, but you can play it wherever you want, pretty much. Thanks so much for watching today. Thanks for subscribing to my channel and checking out my webpage, megankcguitar.com. And good luck with your playing, and shoot me some comments about what other tutorials you would like to see.